Friends Forever Missions, it's good to be together. We're into part 2 about your travel day when you are departing to be a part of a great Friends Forever Missions week. In our last segment, we talked about it's important to pray for your departure date. It's important that you prepare. You got to get documentation. As a international ambassador, get your passport, all right? And for all you students, you keep the same picture for 5 years. For adults over 21 years old, you keep your picture. You're stuck with it, man, for 10 years, all right? They stamp your passport when you come into a country. But it's more than just traveling. You have to prepare. We talked about as you prepare, there's 2 check-in luggages. They can weigh up to 50 pounds each. One's for yourself, enough stuff to get through the week. And the other, it's a piece of luggage to put ministry materials that you have, that your team has, to be effective in ministry that week in the greater Montego Bay area. And as you're traveling, we spoke about on the last segment, you want to be a person of high caliber and not high maintenance. You'll be wearing our Channel 93 shirt, Friends Forever TV shirts. You'll be coming in together as a group, but you will not do anything that would draw attention to yourself or be offensive to other passengers as you travel. You know, it's been disgusting, to say the least, to me when I've been on a plane and I see a group of kids all in the same shirt and they're acting obnoxious to other passengers and to the staff of an airline. There's no place for that when you represent the Lord Jesus Christ, because the signal you would give off is immaturity. And people that go on a missions trip with Friends Forever, it's a question of maturity and development. Remember, you signed the Code of Conduct, which says you would adhere to following the Lord Jesus Christ and giving your best for the Lord. So on that travel day, it's a casual day, it's a fun day. You come on the plane together, but our attitude is that of service to Christ and to one another. Now, as we were wrapping up the last segment, we talked about that plane flying over Cuba and now landing in Montego Bay at the Sangster Airport. What happens when you arrive? You get off the plane. And when you get off your plane, you start to walk. And you walk toward entry into the nation of Jamaica. You'll be given 2 forms. One will be a Jamaica entry form that you'll fill out, your name, your address, and where you're staying. This is what you need to write down when it asks, where will you be staying? Your residence will be Jamaica Grandioso Hotel, 3 Ramparts Close, Montego Bay, Jamaica. That entry form will also ask you, what is your reason for travel? There's a box that they have on the entry forms. You'll check that box that says other, and the reason for your travel that you'll write in is ministry. You know where you're staying. You know the reason you're coming into the country. It's for ministry. You write that on your entry form into the country. And on the bottom of the entry form is your departure day information that you write in, what flight you'll be going home on, what day you'll be going home on. That's the bottom stub, and you'll present that. They'll take the top form of the entry, keep it, and they'll give you the bottom stub for departure. And what I recommend is you just put that stub in your passport and you keep it in your luggage for the entire week until the day you leave. Sometimes your leader of your group might want to collect your passports and your departure stub. Whatever way, it's fine, but you got to have that so you can leave the country 1 week later. After you go through the entry line into the country at Sangster's Airport, you'll go downstairs to the luggage claim area. And when you do, you could see a lot of people in one small room looking for their luggage. It's posted on the kiosk boards what luggage area your suitcase will come through. Remember, you'll have a couple small carry-on, but you're looking for those 2 suitcases that you checked in earlier that day at your point of departure, and you'll pick those up. Now, what do you do when you're going through the customs line, when you're going to pick up your luggage. It's the same decorum and attitude and atmosphere that I've recommended you have when you're on that plane traveling. You keep quiet. You don't draw attention to yourself. And one thing I don't want to hear a young man or a young woman or especially a leader say, I don't know what to do. That's why you're preparing and going through these training videos so you can have your head, your heart, and your body ready to be about the Father's business. It's a shame when we waste good time repeating questions and asking for things that we already should know when we should be hitting the ground running. Now, you go downstairs after you go through entry in Jamaica at the Sangsters Airport to pick up your luggage. Now, once your entire group has picked up its luggage, you take those luggages and you form a single line and you go all the way to the end, the right side of the luggage entry area of Sangster Airport to point number 1. Row number 1, post number 1. You go all the way to the end. That's the place where the customs agents have you open up your ministry suitcase to declare charitable items that you're bringing into the country to give away. If you're asked a question, what's this for? They'll know that you're with a ministry group. Why? Because of the shirt you're wearing, Friends Forever TV, and the fact that the second piece of literature that you have to fill out to get into the country is what's called a customs declaration form. You're asked some of the same things that you're asked for your entry form. Your name, your passport number, how many days you're staying, where you're staying at. You're not coming for any business. You're not bringing plants or flowers in. You haven't concealed excessive money, but on the back of the customs declaration form, as we zero in on that, you'll notice there are spaces for you to list what items you're bringing into the country. You have to list the items you're bringing into the country in your ministry suitcase, that second check-in baggage where you describe, I have 20 bags of candy valued at $1 each for $20. I have old Bibles that are valued at $0 because they're donated. I have children's clothing that has no value because it's used and it's donated. Whatever's in that bag, you have to list it and its value in U.S. currency. I usually put on this items that have been given to me to take down, $0 value because it is a donated gift that is being given. For those of you that might bring a guitar or a musical instrument, remember, you cannot bring it unless you have approval from our office first. It's important that really we sing with children instead of sing for children. It's important that we spend the most of our focus in giving things away instead of just trying to perform something. So if you got the guitar question, you need to connect directly with me. My email address is atworldradio@aol.com. Now, right now we're in line. We're at customs declaration. We've all gone to post number 1. They might send you over to number 2 or number 3 to divide the group up. But it's very important that you keep your mouth shut. You don't say anything. I am usually there when all groups come in, or if I have to send an assistant, you'll know who it is. But one of the problems we have sometimes is excessive talking from people who really are having a panic attack of confidence. That's why if you're praying, you're prepared, you've written everything down, you're coming off the plane ready to go, you don't need to say a word. You just smile and enjoy the Caribbean heat. Well, we're going to wrap this segment up about some of the details of landing and getting through the airport. And coming up on the next segment, we're going to wrap it up and give you a little overview of what happens when you get out of the airport. It's all coming up next for you as we talk about our travel day with Friends Forever Missions.